Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for testing to see if my husband purchased my gift himself and telling him that I don't want it after he failed? Since we've been dating, my husband has been a very consistent gift giver. However, I've always suspected that my husband doesn't always pick the gifts out himself because sometimes they seem really thoughtful and personal to me, and other times they're very generic gifts that you could give anyone. I usually don't say anything because on special occasions he always gives me meaningful presents until this year. This year, my husband gave me only generic gifts and I'm sure he is having his assistant buy them. I asked him once and he denied it. Our anniversary was a few days ago and he gave me a necklace. It was beautiful, but I rarely wear jewelry, which he knows. When I opened it, I told him that I love the red color. It was blue. He told me that he thought that the red would suit me best. I played along for a little while and then showed him the necklace. We had a huge fight over it and I told him that I didn't want it and he should stop giving me gifts for the sake of giving me a gift. He said that I was overreacting and that forgetting a color was an honest mistake, but didn't mean that he never bought it himself. He's also mad at me for now trying to test him and rejecting his gift. Am I the jerk? Alright, OP. Normally I would say that, testing your partner is probably a bad thing. I think you were sincerely curious if he actually got the gift himself, and you suspected that he hadn't. He proved that he didn't get you the gift, it seems like. So, I don't know. What do you folks think? Jerk or not the jerk? So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, he can't even look at the gifts that he gets for you. Why bother then? He might as well have just given you cash so at least you can buy something that you like. OP, I don't know if your husband has always been like this to a degree or whatever, but I strongly encourage you to sit down and talk it out. If he refuses, then tell him never to buy you anything ever again, and you will do the same for him. I know that some people don't like it when someone tests their partners, but let's face it, people lie. Sometimes you have to test them just so you can reassure yourself that you're not going crazy. If he tries to say that testing him is wrong again, just point out that giving you a generic gift or gifts that you can't even be bothered to look at is lazy and wrong. It was your anniversary and he treated it like it meant nothing. He is just pathetic. Even a store-bought gift card would have been more thoughtful. He then would have at least have left it open for you to sign it. Best of luck, OP. To be honest, this seems a little harsh. It's not clear from the post whether the husband struggles to buy gifts, or is just really bad at picking out gifts, or doesn't care about the gifts that he gives. Many people are well-intentioned but horrible at gifting, so they end up buying junk even though they mean well, or having someone pick out a gift that they think that their significant other will like so that they don't have to stress about it. OP, are gifts your love language? If so, then make it clear to them that you're frustrated by the lack of thought going into the gifts and how it makes you feel. And likely gift giving is not your husband's love language. So sit down with him and come to a solution of ways that he can show you that he cares besides maybe his expectation of needing to give you gifts, and how you can do the same for him. Yeah, I'm much more inclined to kind of agree with the second poster here. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for stealing my neighbor's cat? So, my neighbor of 3 years has a cat and has always been an indoor cat up to the entire time that I've known her. About 2 weeks ago, for some reason that I don't know, she kicked the cat out of her house and now he's an outdoor-only cat. Over the course of a month or so, I watched the cat's condition decline steadily, matting, fleas, getting skinny, etc. He also seemed really distressed about being outside, always begging and meowing and trying to get into people's houses. I felt bad for him and would let him in whenever he came asking and tried my best to take care of him until my neighbor came over and told me off for trying to steal her cat. I didn't want to cause trouble, so I stopped letting him in, but I still fed him. It's painful to watch him suffer. So 2 weeks ago was the last straw for me. The cat was hit by a car while crossing the road when the neighbor was not home. I saw it happen and rushed out to him to make sure he was still alive, and he was. And I took him to an emergency vet. He ended up having his leg amputated, and it all cost him almost $3,000. I didn't tell my neighbor what happened. I paid the price, and I told the vet that the cat was a stray. They checked for a microchip, and he didn't have one, and helped me contact the shelter to file a lost pet report. I took him home and have not let him outside since the accident. Here is where I might be the jerk. The stray holding period in my city is 5 days before the animal is considered abandoned, and since the neighbor has not claimed the cat through her shelter or asked me about him at any point in time in the past 2 weeks, I decided to keep him. Today, my neighbor saw him lounging in my window and came over and said that she's been looking for him all week. She demanded that I give him back, and if not, she would file a police report for me stealing him. I told her that she must have the wrong cat as mine has 3 legs and shut the door in her face. She screamed through the door for a while and then left, still wanting to see if she would call the cops. So Reddit, am I the jerk? Edit, here's the cat tax. So as you can see, Jarvis is lounging cozily on this very nice blanket here. Another edit, the cat's name is Jarvis and he is very happy back as an indoor cat. He is chipped even though I don't plan on letting him out again. He's been recovering remarkably well even if he'd rather meow at me to carry him rather than walk on his own. We're going to have a good life together. And an update, so I talked to my neighbor again and she came back today and it turns out my neighbor's new boyfriend doesn't like her cat. So when he moved in, she kicked the cat out. And now they've broken up and she wants her cat back. I'm keeping my now kitty and told her very sorry that her cat went missing, but the one in my house is mine. She seemed upset but legitimately convinced that my cat was not the same one when I showed her pictures of his 3 legs. As many of you have said, the life of an animal is more important than the morality of the theft here. Alright, OP. Well, first off, what do you folks think? Do you think OP is the jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, not the jerk.
Amber thinks not the jerk. I think OP is not the jerk in this situation. This is actually a really ethically tough question because in the strictest sense of the word, OP did technically steal their neighbor's cat. They know that this was their neighbor's cat. But the thing is that this was a clear case of neglect, and that neglect ended up causing the cat to be maimed, and I think that's a really unfortunate situation. And if the neighbor is going to kick the cat out over the drop of a hat for no reason whatsoever, then probably that cat doesn't really need to be in that house. So I don't think that OP is necessarily the jerk in this situation, even though there is some ethically questionable stuff going on here. But I think that the ethics dictate that the welfare of the animal is more important than, the theft of the animal. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, like you said, your cat has 3 legs, hers has 4. This is brilliant. And I'm assuming that it's microchipped again, unlike hers. Not the jerk by a long mile. Not the jerk, and if they did call the cops, they would recognize you as the owner because you have the cat chipped and have the medical papers to prove that you're caring for the cat. And without having to lie, you can simply tell that you witnessed an apparent stray get hit by a car, appropriately waited the grace period of 5 days, and claimed ownership when no one asked about it. That's legal. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Kicking My Sister Out Over Spilled Soup? I'm a 27-year-old female, and my sister, a 19-year-old female, moved in with me after her ex-boyfriend kicked her out over an argument where he stole her loan money, and now she can't pay for her next semester or pay rent. I let her move in under the condition that she contributes to the household chores since she is living here for free. She agreed and started doing a majority of the chores as well as watching my kids when I work. In return, I cook and pay for internet bills and utilities. My husband has been sick for a week. He suffers from an infection and can't get out of bed easily. Since I couldn't skip work, I sat with my sister and gave her instructions about my husband's care, from cleaning to giving food and medication, which shouldn't be hard since she's our mother's caregiver and helped with her condition. 2 days later, my husband started complaining about my sister not responding to his requests. I sat with my sister, and she said my husband's requests weren't urgent because he asked her to charge his phone, pass him a remote, all day, call his friends for him, and trivial stuff. She said that she still had to watch 3 kids and complete chores. I told her that she can't complain. If she wanted to stop doing anything, that she would have to pay us rent. Yesterday, I came home and heard my husband berating her. I walked into the room and asked what happened. My husband said that my sister wasn't being careful and dropped the chicken soup on the carpet and didn't want to make him another one. Plus, she ruined the carpet, leaving a large stain. I asked her to explain, and she said that it was an accident, and the soup got spilt, and my husband was being too needy since this was the second chicken soup that she made for him. I said it wasn't okay to call my sick husband needy in his own house after he agreed to let her move in. She started listing all the things that she's done to earn her stay, saying that we're taking advantage of her situation and being harsh, treating her like a maid, putting all the chores on her. I got mad and said that since she's holding those favors over her head, she needs to start paying rent or move out. She said that she can't pay and that she had 2 days to pack and move out. She started crying, but I suggested that she stay with a friend. She said that as her sister, I was being unsupportive and unfair. I refused to let her to continue to convince me to let her stay since there's tension in the house, since my husband said he's sick and can't take any more stress. As the co-owner of the house, he wants her to stay somewhere else. She's not speaking to me even after I gave her money to help when she moves, though it's not much. She keeps saying that I kicked her out over spilled soup. Alright folks, well, what do you think? Jerk, not the jerk?
The jerk, very much.
So, I am going to agree with Amber in this situation. I think that OP, how is this helping OP's situation? She was doing all this stuff for her, and now OP is not going to have that assistance. So, I don't know what good this is doing them. And in the end, it does sound like the husband was being needy. So, I honestly think that OP is overreacting here, and I think that they were taking advantage of their sister. So I just think that that's what it reads to me. In the end, I really think that OP's sister should file a police report for that stolen money. I think that OP's sister, has fallen onto some hard times that seem to be outside of her control, and she can't catch a break, and I think that's really unfortunate. So, yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You're definitely treating her like a maid, and so is your husband. You're both the jerk. Seriously, I can't imagine one of my siblings asking me to take care of their sick spouse. That's a lot to put on someone, even if they're a blood relative. And not to mention, it sounds like she had also had caretaker responsibilities with their mother, too. So it sounds like, their sister basically has done a lot for the family. So kicking them out over this, I don't know. When her sister leaves, she'd have to pay 3 people a full wage to do what her sister was doing. She'll have to hire a nanny and a maid and a nurse or caregiver. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday.